Please start.
Yeah.
Thank you. We will start in a couple of minutes. Folks are still joining. We'll get started in a minute. Officers in the call, please send the reminders in the WhatsApp groups. Okay, it's 11:03. Let's get started. So some of you in the previous tech club meetings or in offsites have asked can we do something for high school students? So this is where actually we are coming on making sure after successful Gen AI training session for our adults, which went on one session in October to December and another one happened from Jan to March, and right now 102 is happening, Gen AI 102. So with that successful training sessions, we want to bring in something for the high school students, which is like AI ML training for high school students. So this is based on we looked at how the existing trainings were there outside, what it is lacking, how we can make a difference for our community. So before we go into our the orientation material, so we want to briefly talk about our club. When we started this tech club, we started with one vision. So we want to significantly elevate technical and behavioral skills in the VSF community to make the community even stronger in the field of technology. So this is something actually we have significantly achieved this for the adults. So we have seen some of the people who were placed into the FANG companies after joining this club, they could make difference for themselves. So now the same vision we want to bring it to our high school students, because technology is the key and technology is evolving so fast. We need to catch up and we need to be forefront of everything. So with this, just a high level view of like what Tech Club has done over the past few years. We initiated the club in 2023, and we started with like the system design and the behavioral aspects of uh, the technical abilities that are needed, and we did two offsites in 2023. So along with that, so we for the offsites we started bringing prominent leaders as an external speakers to our offsites to get an insight of industry insights from them. So then actually like in 2024, we introduced the coding track because multiple club members showed interest saying that the coding is something actually like they want to share and learn from each other. And we introduced the coding track and we did like two offsites in 2024. We are consistently doing like offsites, minimum of two offsites every year. And Gen AI we introduced in late 2024, and we started with like four tracks: Gen A 101, 102, 103, 104. So we had like 50 plus members registered for these trainings. And today, if you see, like we have like Gen A training for adults, it is happening right now, which is 102, and we are starting AIML for high school students. And we have like a 60 plus registrations so far for this session. And when actually like when some of you have reached out saying that like okay we need AML for high school students, so we actually like collaborated with Rising Stars. So you all know like VSF has like a Rising Stars track, so which is led by like Deepthi and Jyoti. And that track actually like we collaborated with them to make sure like what is the best thing that we can bring for Rising Stars for VSF community, right? So that's where you are seeing this. Brief about like the club. So there are actually like when in 2023 when it started, so myself Srinivas and Srinath is there on the call, and Veera, I'm not sure he's there in the call or not. So we three are the founders. We started this club. So during one of our hike, this idea popped up, and we materialized this club. So Shanti is the one who is actually VP of membership. She takes care of like all the people who wants to be a member, how actually like to make you aware of like what this club does, right? And onboarding you to the club. So she takes care of all of those, right? If you want to become a member, like please talk to Shanti. And Shravanti is like VP of operations, and she takes care of like all the operational aspects. So once you join the club, so how the operation, how the club has to run, what are the different tracks? So are these actually like the tracks are going up to date or not? So making all the officers be on their toes, right? So Shravanti is takes care of all the operations aspects. And when we introduced in 2024 coding track, so we need actually like more volunteers. When we add a track, we need people to like come volunteer. So Visu is taking care of like all the coding tracks. And Manoj, who is there on the call, if you see Manoj as a host, Manoj is the one actually like ML track. He's driving for this club. So for any specific questions you have for this track, machine learning or like AML for high schoolers or adults, so reach out to any of these officers or Manoj who is there on the call. So this is about our club. And so about Rising Stars, Deepthi, you may want to talk about it.
Um, Hey, thank you, Srinivas, for that introduction on the Tech Club. Hi, I'm Deepthi from VSF Rising Stars. I'm one of the leads. Jyoti Malipati is my co-lead. Most of you know what Rising Stars does, but to again reiterate what we do in a simple way, Rising Stars provides a platform for parents as well as kids to connect and share insights, seek guidance on the children's education and extracurricular development. Those of you parents who are not on the Rising Stars group can reach out to me, and then I can add you. This is a very helpful platform to seek as well as learn in terms of, as I said, education and extracurricular or anything under the sun that you would need for your child, even behavioral to that aspect. So last year, up until last year, there were a lot of activities that Rising Stars conducts, starting from our most famous summer camp, which is held for 1 week, a 1 week program. It is STEM-based. Kids get to explore and learn everything starting from art, dance, programming, chess. And so there are multiple tracks that we have. This is led by high school kids. Again, all of them are from the community. It's run by volunteers, and high school kids are also volunteering and training the middle school and elementary school kids as a part of the summer program. Usually it is in June or July, and the communication will be sent out soon. Apart from that, we also provide opportunities for showcasing the kids' talents in various VSF events, and we also introduced the business fair in VSF picnic program, which will help the kids look and learn from being an entrepreneurial angle of it. Right. So now this year we've also introduced Hack Club, as you see on the slide, which is mainly for middle and high school students, which gives a platform for the kids to prepare for hackathons. So we're helping them bringing up to speed in terms of programming, but also at the same time nurture and prepare them for hackathons and spark interest in technology and innovation. Thank you. And I'm really excited to collaborate with the Tech Club to bring forward this AI ML program for high school kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepti. Okay, so I know like you're all waiting to know like who is a speaker, who is a instructor for this. So let me introduce the instructor. So Luis Ticas is our instructor. So Luis is a seasoned data science professional with over 10 years of experience in AI, data analytics, and leadership. He, as a certified generative AI engineer, so Luis has expertise in translating complex business needs into actionable data strategies. He is currently a manager of data analytics consulting at EPAM. Some of you know like what is an EPAM Systems. This is based out of Canada, consulting company. And Luis leads transformative initiatives, and he bridges the gap between the business objectives and AI-driven solutions. So with hands-on skills in ML ops, CI/CD pipelines, advanced RAG, and AI agents like React and Cot, Luis brings a wealth of knowledge in both strategic planning and technical implementation. He also holds a Master of Management Analytics from Queen's University and is currently a professor at Durham College, where he teaches analytics. He is passionate about mentoring and developing the next generation of AI professionals. This is something actually like some of you have experienced, whoever there in the call, they are part of our Gen AI trainings that are happening. They were experienced it. The experience that Luis is having, the Gen AI trainings, that the expertise that he's bringing to everyone to help them grow in Gen AI. So now actually like he's willing to help high school students. And Luis, over to you.
All right, thanks, Srinivas. Welcome, everyone. For those who are getting to know me, first of all, nice to meet you. Nice introduction, Srinivas. And for those who have taken my courses before, again, welcome again, and nice to meet you all. Again, the passion of this course is to help and help the community, right? So as Srinivas was talking about before, we had discussions about, yes, we're helping the groups, but how about those who are coming up, and what should really be the main focus? So if you go to the next slide, Srinivas, there was a statement that came out later, I think, and also yesterday. So Sam Altman has come out and said, back in the day, we used to tell people, hey, get into coding. That's really what the future is, and get into there. But really right now, even Sam Altman just said this last month that the obvious tactical thing is just to get really good at AI tools now. So it's moving away from coding, and it's moving more into how can you use AI tools. This is the new version as things keep evolving, keep on changing. Even yesterday, I think it was, yeah, just yesterday, Bill Gates had come out with some bold statements saying that that the coding now has sort of been pushed a little bit to the side, and AI tools and AI things will be coming, replacing and help enhancing those features. So if we're moving to an ever-evolving state and we know technology is not stagnant, how can we help them evolve and change to an ever-moving landscapes? So we know that one, AI is transforming careers. So how can we help students move from point A to point B during this huge landscape changes? It's huge now across just one industry, across everything, right? Coding and data skills aren't enough right now. Understanding AI now should be a part of a foundation taught to students. Should have early exposure to AI. If this is where they really want to go, and when they pop into the field, AI, machine learning, and statistics are always going to be part of that base, and we want to give that information to them. And the main point of this as well is not only are we going to give online courses, but we also have office hours and questions and support and guidance to help them really understand, really build strong foundations they can carry over to anything they want to move over to and move over to their careers and as they push on through high school. So we can go to the next slide. So we thought of 3 main courses that would really strong build foundations.
Yeah, so if for any questions, probably end we will take the questions. Let Luis complete going through the materials. I know like some of you raised the hand, but please hold on your questions to the end of the orientation.
And we'll have a QA perfect for that. So we thought of a really strong foundation, 3 main blocks. Again, a point of this is not to build another Python course for people to go through and click, but how can we actually build strong foundations for one, understanding the statistics behind it. So as we go, before we hit the ML or AI section, how can we understand what are the parts that are necessary of what statistical analysis, statistical breakdowns, whatever inference that we have for them, any hypothesis testing, all that information will be given in terms of a structure of how to use that for ML models. Then we move into ML models afterwards, where we grab everything we learned from statistics and then use that towards any algorithms or techniques for this linear regression, decision trees through ML, and types of reinforcement learnings that happen through machine learning. And then once we understand how machine learning works, this is where then we build the basis off of generative AI, because generative AI is a branch of machine learning techniques. So once we get into understanding what is ML, then we get into Gen AI, and that's when we'll understand a little bit more of how these LLMs being built today, how can they be used, what are the different uses, and understanding really the architecture and how people are using it today in the business world. And that's really what the main goal is. If you switch to the next slide. So why choose this course? Again, there's many courses that are saying that they're going out. There are many courses that are saying they're teaching AI, but they pop you in front of a computer and they give you the code and they say, okay, run this line, run this line, run this line, run this line. We really don't want to have a course that sits down there and have people to simply just run courses or simply just go there. We really want to understand the practicality of the statistics, understanding really what's a foundation, how these things work. Once we have that statistic, like I said before, we use that towards real world practices. So we'll have some practice questions, how they can use that for AI ML. We'll teach them how to use that through Excel, even do a simple Excel exercises, then move that to Python. So the students should come with, at least be prepared with Python knowledge. Like I said before, this course won't teach Python. It's not the purpose of this course. But they should already come prepared with a basic level of Python in order to do some exercises that we'll be doing after we move on from the Excel spreadsheets to Python, then to ML, then Python will be necessary for AI. So again, I'll be teaching them things that I know from real world experiences. I can move things as concurrent. We know that things currently involved to different LLMs, to new technologies like MCP that's coming out. How can they quickly catch themselves up to that practice guides, and how they can have real hands-on projects and to learn these new terms as they come out. So if you go to the next slide. So again, going back to the roadmap, like I said before, we're doing core statistics, which we're doing the foundation of what essential math skills and statistics to bring them up to data science, specifically towards data science, understanding the literacies of confusion matrices, precision, recall, and understanding the fundamental introduction to regression analysis techniques. Then we'll be using that in Python, which we'll be doing regression in Python, understanding matrices, how to run these matrices in Python, so we can sort of have build up of how they're going to be analyzing the results from these machine learning models and the different tests we'll be doing. Next, we'll go into ML, which will do classification regressions, hands-on applications of how to build these models out, what problems we're really trying to solve for them. And then lastly, we'll go into generative AI, which will talk about introduction to LLMs, transformations, architecture, practical workplaces and what they're using today, and how they can sort of build a practical child application themselves based off a topic they would really like to learn about. Go to the next slide. So going deeper into each one, the objective of Module 1, the foundation course for students, statistics, is learning different types of data types and variables, of course, basic statistics, just a quick reminder of what they already know of mean, median, modes, probability distributions, probably a quick glance over that. But then we'll get into more into data science, types of statistics of confusion matrices, how to calculate false positives, true positives, precision recall, what does F1 score mean, why it's really important, introduction to regression analysis, how to go through simple regression concepts, then the statistics behind those as well, and interpreting the basic regression outputs in chi-square, all those different types of analysis that we can do on ourselves on our end. So the point of Module 1 is hands-on calculations, doing exercises to help them remember how to do these things, and also illustrating how these statistics actually have real-world impact. I know a lot of students might come back and say, hey, I don't know why we're using this, why do we have to learn this, right? This is more practical in the sense that now that you know how to do this, you can actually do these type of exercises and they actually can see that whatever they're learning actually has real world value. Let's go to the next slide, please. Next is after, like I said before, getting deeper into Module 2. Once we understand the basics, understand that we're redoing this foundation in Python, be able to import what types of packages are out there to do regression modeling, how to do different types of algorithms, decision trees, nearest neighbors, etc. How to evaluate them. Now that we have the statistics background, what do those evaluations mean? What does in the intercept mean? What are those coefficients? What does the AUC mean? What's the ROC of this? What do those mean in terms of ML mean? Get into deeper of looking at them and how they can solely be done in Python and also in Excel for those who are doing more of a business type, and understanding the performance matrices. So again, in this ML part, we're looking at that. We're looking at simplifying simple data sets, example, identifying spam emails, things that they would find more practical rather than analyzing a wine set that most people do on these I see usually on these courses, they bring out these random data sets that may not be interesting, but just simply because it's a clean data set. But I definitely want to bring something more concrete, maybe even social media views, things like that they might find that's very interesting, anything that could be related to you today that they might say, hey, this would be a cool thing to learn about. And also how these models can be used today and understand how you can replicate those in Python. After we understand sort of what the AI ML is trying to do in terms of regression, then we go into AI. So this module is related a base built off those ML techniques of saying, okay, we understand what regression is, we understand how things are happening, we know that neural networks were being built. How are neural networks important in AI, and how are they built out in these architectures, and which part of these are part of the neural networks that are coming out? So once we break down an LLM, like we see on the right side, breaking it down piece by piece, understanding how the information comes in, how ML models are still being used inside LLMs in the architecture, they can sort of break down and say, oh, this is how an AI works. So it's not a black box mystery. We actually give them on a basic, like a real good understanding of how they work from top to bottom. Once they understand that base of how these architectures work and how they think and how they're able to flow from point A to point B, we then build applications from it saying, okay, now you understand how does prompt engineering affect this? How would fine-tuning affect the model? We look at different cases that way to really help them to really think critically of how an AI tool could be best used. And again, we want to build applications with them as well. So the main part of this would probably help them how to build a basic chatbot, grabbing whatever data they want and be able to help help them build it in terms of classes from there. So again, we want to build these 3 parts out to build a really good foundation. So when they get to AI tools, they can say, oh, I know how to do this, or I understand how this works, or I go from there. The whole point of it is to really catch them up and have that education for those students. We'll go to the next slide. So what to expect in each session. So I'm going to go through at least 50% of the class is going through different examples, real world works, going through the statistics and going through the formulas, what they mean, pausing through each one. After the 50% led, we would break out into small groups or individual works, work on discussions, assignments during that time, help individuals who may have questions. And then the last 10% of class will be wrap-up discussions and peer feedbacks and takeaways. Next slide. So what we expect from each student who attends is to actively participate in these classes. These sessions will be combined with presentations and hand-on coding. So if someone is simply just joining and looking and is understanding, it won't be enough. These students need to be engaged in order to participate. There'll be some gamification. There'll be some quizzes. There'll be things to really get them, rather than having someone to speak to them in front of a video and having them trying to write down notes. We know at that age, it's really hard to get a good attention span. It's not the same teaching adults versus students. I teach college. I teach college students every Wednesday here at a local college, and it's again even getting the attention span for more than half hour is really difficult. So we know that we have to take pauses, quick breaks, and really it's engagement of the students to be learning more, and really those who are ambitious will be really successful at this. After we're giving the information out, it's additional study of 2-3 hours a week if they want to get the most out of the material, right? So if they're understanding how to do a case, I'll send them some extra assignment homeworks if they want to do them to understand a little bit more of, hey, how do I run this in statistics? What are the different ways? Or if I want to learn more about how an ML model might work, here's the different ways. Collaborate, ask questions. We'll have a WhatsApp group open. If anyone has questions throughout the week, they don't have to be waiting for a class to show up or an office hour. They can write questions in the group and we'll be able to answer questions. So we know this is a fun experience, so we want everyone just to stay curious and have fun learning. Gonna leave it to Srinivas now.
Yeah, so now like you understood like what are the different tracks and what is the topics going to get covered. So there are 2 options the Tech Club is thinking of like to run this training program. So we may run like both, or we may run like only one. So it depends on like the interest levels at everyone. So one option is like we can run as a summer camp, which is the duration of 6 weeks. We have like a 3 times a week, 2-hour sessions. And the total it comes to actually like 36 hours, and because it's 6 weeks, 6 office hours, we'll have every week 1 office hours to discuss any questions or any topics that the student is having. So the start date is actually like right after our schools are over. We want to start, that is on 2nd June 2025. It's going to be like Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays at 3 p.m. PST. So this is going to be like 3 p.m. PST to 5 p.m. PST. And the cost of like overall program for whole 6 weeks is like $200. Whereas like in option 2, it's a weekend learning. So which is like an extended learning in a slow pace. This is going to be like 18 weeks program, and it's a 1 time a week, and it's a 2-hour session. It's again like total 36 hours duration, but since it is an 18 weeks, it's an 18 office hours. So every week there will be an office hours. The start date of this is like once the summer is over, we will start that. That's going to be like 17th August 2025. And Sundays 5 p.m. PST is what actually like this option is going to be. So this is actually like we talked about 3 tracks: the statistics, machine learning, and Gen AI. Each track is like $70. It's a kind of an a la carte. So you can pick and choose like which is the session that you want, and you can actually like register for that appropriately. So these are the program details. And if you want actually like the registration, use the same actually like the bit.ly link that you use it for the orientation registration. So we added like the additional question of which is an option, preferred option for you. And all the sessions, including this orientation, is recorded, will be recorded, and it will be shared to all the registered members. Okay. So with that, open for questions. Any questions from anyone?
Yeah, one question. So since like all these are like ninth graders and 10th graders, some of the concepts I saw are like college level concepts. All the mathematical concepts we talked about. I wanted to see like how to make it less boring for them. I mean, like because like the moment we introduce all these concepts, it makes it they're out of zone. So just want to make sure like they're not out of zone.
Yeah, so that's something exactly what I was thinking about as well. How can we make this a little bit more exciting? Like I said before, as you're going through these mathematical concepts, like, okay, what is this? Why do I have to learn this? Some students may like, why do I have to learn differential calculus, for example, right? They might understand that. So what I really want to do is really after I teach a mathematical function or a statistical concept, how it's actually applied in real world. Have possible gamification of it. Now there's ways to do things that you can make it more engaging that way. There's ways to pretty much have them yes or no, do some quizzes, interact with it. So that's pretty much my goal and achievement is to help them either interact with the statistical functions, see how it's actually being used in real world, and then have some sort of gamification to help them do more memorization that way. So that was really my plan to do.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, like the moment we introduce these as like Python programs, it becomes really complicated for them and they lose interest. So if there is I mean, like I know there are a lot of AI tools now, and like yeah, so yeah, definitely more fun to interact with. Yeah.
100%. Definitely different level of teaching college students versus high school students for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Mani. That's one of the intention. We don't want to mimic like what the other training programs are there outside. So we want to bring in a difference, make it more interactive, more interesting, and have like a solid foundations for them, right? So taking some code, just running, actually like they don't learn anything. So having a solid foundations, they excel. So that's what we are planning to try for this for our students.
One another quick question, because like our schools are ending on Jan 2nd and on May 31st. So is there I mean like is there a way to push it a little bit further, because like they're just ending, and like some of us have made plans for travel first 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Is it possible to have it a little bit later by any chance?
Good question, Mani. So we can give like a 1 week break, because the challenge is like some people plan some things in June, some planned in July. So it's a difficult. So that's where like we are giving an option to choose like which is the best one will work. At least like if we get like a 10 to 15 participants for each of the track, we can run both the tracks. Otherwise, we may have to consolidate into like a one track, whichever is the majority of the participants. Right, but I agree. Like 31st, it is ending and second starting. Maybe like too much for them. Give like a week break or like 2 weeks break and start. But we want to see like that 6 weeks window actually like we can fit it for them.
Yeah. I mean, like at least 2 weeks break will be like there will be more because they high school, they're all working hard for exams, so they are like already stressed out. And the moment we tell like, okay, from Jan 2nd you have to do this, like it's they lose interest. That's why June 2nd. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think we can accommodate that. So yeah. Any other questions?
I have a couple questions.
Go ahead.
So I'm from Los Angeles, so like these are online sessions and I'm allowed to join them from there too as well, right?
That's right. So Louis actually, he's not from Bay Area.
Oh,
He's in Toronto. So all the classes are going to be online over Zoom.
okay. Okay, got it. And so is Louis going to be teaching these?
Yes, Louis is the
Okay.
instructor.
Okay, got it. And then finally, so if you have no experience in Python, are we expected to come with learning it, like learn it on our own time or something, or like how is that going to work?
Well, actually, like for Python, so if you look into that, like Python Essentials, some of the things are called out here. So we want actually like people to like self-prepare and come or like take any of the online courses.
Okay.
Python. And before you get into like if you see in this, for the foundations, you may not need Python.
Uh-huh.
Actually, like you need it for before you get into the machine learning, right? So you need
Yeah.
to make sure like before the machine learning track starts, like you complete like your Python learning in parallel, or like you can
Oh.
do right now, right? So because our plan is to start after school ends, whoever is
Mhm.
registering, and if they don't have like the Python basics, so take some trainings, right? So Luis, if you have some recommendation on some trainings, you can provide that recommendation to the members so they can go through that.
Okay. Okay. And then for the weekend sessions, like that starts like on August 17th, right? So like it runs through the school year, but like on the weekends only, right?
That's right. If you look into this, this is only on weekends actually,
Yeah.
Sundays at 5 p.m.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Trent.
So if we're not able to attend the meeting, it's going to be recorded, right?
Yes, all the sessions will be recorded, and within 24 hours we will publish the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions from anyone?
I mean, like, I really want to thank VSF Tech Club because like it's amazing like what the kind of effort you guys are putting to bring this. I know it was a lot of effort and planning. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I know. I mean, I don't know why there are. I'm sure like more people will come. I don't know. Maybe it's a Saturday and it's a festival today, so
I
that's why. Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually like when we sent the orientation, we closed the orientation date and sent, we didn't realize it's Ugadi, but we sent everywhere. We don't want to cancel the orientation, right? Some of the people, it's good actually on the day of Ugadi in Telugu New Year, we are taking a step for our kids. That is what I love it actually. Like the people, everyone joined here, 17 people, they want to make a difference this year for their kids. That is a great step actually, like right. So that is one thing, and I'm sure like if more people are interested, we can have like a follow-up orientation, or like this orientation is already recorded. We can share them the recording. Okay, but if there are no questions, probably like uh, my recommendation is like before you drop off, fill the form. The link, let me post it here. In the chart, I'm pasting the link. So it's the same, like if you have done the registration, just edit it. There is an option at the end, what is the preferred option for you, right? If you have not registered, if you are interested, click the registration and fill the form and choose the options that works best for you, because this helps us to calibrate. So if there is enough interest, like I mentioned, we want to run both. At the end, like I want to help, we want to help the community, right? If summer there are no plans and people wants to do it, and summer is the right time. It's like fast-paced environment. 6 weeks they learn all these concepts. 2 weeks. Whereas like non-summer, it is like 6 weeks. It goes a little slow.
Yeah, only thing is the dates. Anything after 2 weeks, yes. I mean, like I would like to register immediately. I mean, like that's the only thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So sure, I think like that's a fair ask. Right after the school, like not giving them the break, so we can give like the couple of weeks of break, right? That's a fair ask.
In the summer camp, it's 6 weeks. So like, if we're away for like 2 weeks or something, can we still attend?
Okay, so you can still attend, but those classes it will be like recorded, and you may have to attend, go through offline. That's the only thing that you may lose.
Okay.
But the recordings will be available, and those days, if it doesn't work in the office hours, you want to join and ask the questions, right? You went through offline and you want to utilize the office hours to get clarifications. Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah, it's flexible and make a better use of your time and use of like office hours to get all your questions clarified.
Couple of things I just want to remind you guys. So when you're registering, please register with the email address that you want the calendar invites to be sent, and also the WhatsApp numbers, please, so that we add the right WhatsApp folks, so that you'll get more information and regular updates. So please update and register your email addresses to the which you want the calendar invites, and the phone number to which you want to be added as a in the WhatsApp group.
Thank you, Manoj.
This is only kids will be there, right? Not parents
This
in
is
this WhatsApp group.
yeah.
Okay.
This is only for the kids. Kids, Louis, and probably officers will be there to assist them if there are any questions. Because these are high schoolers, they are independent. It is okay to it's okay.
Yeah,
For,
that's why like the moment parents are there, they feel like they don't ask the right questions. They are like obligated. That's why, yeah.
it's a Louis and the members and the officers only will be in that group. All right. If there are no other questions, thanks everyone. Thanks, Louise, for taking time for this orientation. And yeah, thank you. So looking forward for this AAML session for our kids.
Thank you, Louis. Thanks a lot.
Hope to see everyone there. Okay, catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. It's
Bye.
really appreciative for starting this.
Bye-bye.